Hi guys, welcome back to the Vanity. So today what we're going to do is an update on my everyday makeup drawer. I've been really looking forward to doing this. I've had my everyday makeup drawer the same for quite some time, so I was really ready to bring in some fall stuff and mix it up a little bit. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. Alright guys, we're at the everyday makeup drawer. Let's go ahead and get these items out, clean out the drawer, and then we'll see what we want to bring back in and see what new items we're going to put in here. Okay, so we got this all cleared out. Let's go ahead and just start putting the items back in here that I know I'm going to keep. So for sure that's going to be these brow products. This isn't a brow product, but this is basically what I'm using for now. The L'Oreal Brow Stylist Shape and Fill and the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Boost and Set. And then I always have my e.l.f. What is this? Makeup remover pen thing, marker. So I know I'm going to keep that. And then I can just put all these sharpeners back in there. For sure this Maybelline primer is going back in there. I'm almost done with it, so I do want to use this up. And this had made its way in there, the Too Faced Hangover RX. I do like kind of combining these on different parts of my face. Like this I'll put on my nose and my cheeks, and this I'll put along my jawline. Like if I have any sort of dry areas on my skin, I'll put this on there, and it just really helps my foundation to lay a lot better. Then I know I'm going to keep some of the concealers, but clearly I don't need this many concealers. So I am going to put the Neutrogena Hydro Boost back in. I'm trying to use this up. And then I'm going to put back in, I think it's this one. They're both in Fair, and I'm trying to use this one up, and I had purchased a new one. And then recently I picked up these two, the Tarte Shape Tape and the Urban Decay All Nighter. So far these are not my favorite concealers. They are a little bit heavy. I do prefer the Shape Tape more than the All Nighter. I feel like the All Nighter is definitely thicker. This though does kind of burn my eyes a little bit before I blend it out, like if I let it sit there. So I think I'm going to put both of these in there for now, and then I'll kind of decide that, and these three would be getting taken out of here. The Ico Fat Liquid Black Liner, I am going to put this one in there. It's the only liquid liner I have, so I definitely put that back in there. Put these back in there, the Tarte Brighter Days and the Burberry Fresh Glow. I don't have a glowing primer otherwise, so I'm going to put these in there. Milani eyeshadow primer, I am going to keep that in there. These mascaras are going back in. I am working on using up this Sephora sample of the Lashcraft Length and Volume. I actually really like this mascara. It's got a very soft, bristled, I don't know if it's natural fiber, but it's one of the fiber ones instead of the plastic ones. This just gives a really long, fluffy lash. I actually really like it. Then the Lancome Definicils, I actually use this on my bottom lashes. It's an okay mascara. I don't like it for as much all over, but I do like it for the bottom lashes. And then the Lancome Monsieur Big, I really like this as well. The wand, as far as how soft it feels and the type of lash it gives, is similar to the Sephora one. However, the brushes in them are a little bit different, but I feel like they give the same effect, and I really like them both. As far as what I had in for powders that I am keeping, I have the NYX HD powder in the banana powder. I am going to keep that. And then the Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, I'm going to keep that as well. I'm going to keep the samples of the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I haven't really used these at all yet, obviously. I think maybe I got a couple of samples. Maybe I did try some other colors, because I had gotten a few of these from the 21 Days of Beauty. But I'm going to keep those in there, as well as just these lip balms for something to put on while I'm doing my makeup. So I have the Bite Agave Lip Mask and the Supergroup Lip Screen, which is a sunscreen for your lips. I'm going to put those in there. I also have a couple of samples of the Anastasia Dip Brow. I'm just going to put those in there, along with a sample of the Tarte Guard. Alright guys, so this is everything that I am not putting back in my everyday makeup drawer. I'm just going to kind of quickly go through them. I have a blush palette by NARS, a couple of highlighters that were sent to me from Pixie, and then I have some Bare Minerals loose shadows that I'm not putting in, a couple of Bare Minerals lip products, Flesh highlight stick that I just recently got, and then the Vitalist Healthy Glow highlighter. Got some highlighters from Wet n Wild, the Do the Hula liquid, an e.l.f. cream blush, a Butter London Glazing Eye Gloss, Flesh, some kind of like a, what is this called? Flesh Pot Eye and Cheek Gloss. It's just not a very good everyday product. Then the Benefit Erase Paste MAC Soft and Gentle. Then I had these tints from Benefit in there. I really didn't use them, so I'm definitely taking them out. I didn't use this either, so I think I'm going to have to step up my game on primers. But I had these 3 extra concealers. And then I have the Makeup Forever Cream, like contour, highlight, blush kind of kit. This little Z palette had some things in there. I was working through some things. I did use up the bronzer that I was using that was in my everyday makeup drawer, so I've started using the Laguna. I am going to continue to use that bronzer, but I think I'm going to rearrange this palette and bring in some other eyeshadows, so you'll likely see it again here for the stuff that's going back in. We have a hand cream from Tatcha. This is from the Face Shop. It's like it says it's a pore tightening cover cream. Honestly, I didn't use it at all since the last update. I have a blush from Kat Von D, the Smashbox Primerizer. I really like this, but I am trying to use up another primer right now. And we've just got some different eyeliners and things, but that is currently what I had in there that I am going to be putting back in my drawer. Okay, so we're back. I went through and picked out the items we're going to bring in, and I will show you them. So for palettes, I'm going to bring in the Bad Habit Retro Love palette. It is one of my favorite palettes that they make, and I think that this would just be fun for fall, and it has a bunch of different colors compared to the Z palette that I made up, so I'll show you that now. Okay, so this is the redone Z palette. I did keep in my bronzer that I'm working on, the NARS Laguna. This is a Smashbox double exposure or something like that, or palette that I depotted. I'm just going to go through these, use them, see how I like them, and then I may get rid of some. So with these, I had these 3 in my last palette, which I really like. This is, I believe, this is a Morphe one in Cream Puff. And then these ones are Anastasia Beverly Hills shadows. This one's in Fawn. This one's in Smoke. And then these ones I believe are Morphe as well. I'm not sure whether or not I like these yet, so I'm going to keep using them. This is Flawless. And this is Caramelized. So I'm going to see if I like those. Some of these are repeats, like I brought these back. These are a Tarte palette that I had depotted, actually a few Tarte palettes. So right now I'm just kind of trying to get a feel for the shadows, see whether or not I like them and if I'll keep them. And then this is a sample one. I forget the brand name, but as you can see, they can kind of go in and out of palettes. So that's what I'm going to work with now. Then I'll kind of dwindle down some of these eyeshadows. From the palette, that I took out of here and that I am not going to keep are these 3 shadows from a Tarte palette. This one could be a crease shade. It has a little bit of like glitter or shimmer in it, but it doesn't translate onto the eye, so it looks more matte. And then this one just doesn't have enough shimmer. It's just more of a satin, but I don't really care for the shade. And then this purple is a little bit patchy. Then I have this Morphe one, and as you can see, it's got like a little bit of like a, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got more of like a grainy texture to it. And in the pan it looks pretty neutral, but on my eye it looks a little grayish, and it's not the best transition color. That one's in Birthday Suit. So these 4 I will be decluttering. And just so you guys got an idea of what I've got going on, I have 2 more Z palettes. This palette is sort of my, not sort of, this palette is my I'm not sure about palette yet. They're colors that I will work into my other palette, see whether or not I like them, and keep them. This is a Lorac palette that I depotted. These are some Tarte shadows. This is also Tarte shadows. And then I have a few more from the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone. And then this is a Makeup Forever sample. So those are in my not so sure about yet. And then this one is the, yes, so far these are colors that I've worked through that I like. I also just have a bunch of Benefit stuff at the top, but have some Anastasia. Then this is Morphe Coastal Scents. Then we have the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone. These are the shades so far that I like. This is from a Tarte palette, and this is an Ultra highlighter. So those are in my yes, so far I like them, and I'm not going to declutter them. I'm going to bring in some eyeliners this time. Generally, I just have the eyeliners in a thing on my desktop here, but I do want to specifically try and use these colors. So I have a Rimmel in Nude, this Tarte one in Slate, another Tarte in Copper, then the Maybelline Lasting Drama in Silken Turquoise, and then I have a Jumbo Eye Crayon or Jumbo Eye Pencil from NYX in Cucumber. So I'm going to try and use those guys. I'm going to bring in a couple of ColourPop shadows. I am going to have to start using these or getting rid of them. Some of them are drying up. But the 2 that I'm bringing in is Partridge and Drift. I'm sure you guys see me bring these in just about every fall. This color here is like one of those colors when I see it, it always gets me. It's like that brown with a little green, maybe blue-purple shift. It's really pretty. And then this one will be just like a nice, warm kind of holiday one, as you can see it there. Make sure I got those lids on real good. So I'm going to bring in my Smashbox Contour Kit. Hopefully I'm going to try and use this powder as well, and then the contour shade. For blush, I decided to bring in MAC Warm Soul, and then my favorite blush from the Balm in Pinstripe. I really love that one. It's so pretty. Then for highlighters, I wanted to bring in the Mary Luminizer. I hadn't really used this in a long time, and I feel like it will be just a really good everyday highlighter. I'm not going to bring in any other powder highlighter, really. I mean, this next one is kind of a blush topper, could be highlighter. This is just says Beauty Powder from MAC, and it's in Shell Pearl. It used to have a really pretty snake design on it, but it's kind of like a really light peachy pink. It barely has any shimmer to it. It kind of really doesn't show up on the skin all that much, but I thought it would just be nice as like a blush topper. Then I am going to bring in this Flesh. It's just their liquid like highlighter drops in Aurora. I'm thinking I want to try and mix this into my primer and just give like a really glowy look to the skin. And I think that's pretty much it for everything that will be in the drawer. Again, I will keep the Z palette and the Retro Love palette here on my desk. I am always working on foundations and things. Right now, I really want to try and use up this CoverGirl one. Excuse the cap. This gets so messy every time you take it off and put it back on. The Healthy Elixir. It's like down to here, so I'm going to try and use this guy up. And then I'm just going to show you some of the things that I've decided to just declutter from my collection going through the everyday makeup drawer. So I am going to pass on these Benefit tints. I just don't use them. I think they're very difficult. They kind of stain your skin before you get to blend them out, and they just don't really work for me. So I am going to declutter these guys. Also, I really tried to love this Vitalist Healthy Glow highlighter. I just find it to be, I don't know, it just doesn't look very smooth. And like there it looks pretty, but when I use it on my cheeks it looks kind of weird. So I'm going to pass that on. Then I'm going to pass on this Sephora concealer. I actually like it, but the color I picked mine up in is Buttercream. It's their number 4 shade, and it's just really, really too light for me. Even in my really pale winter days, this is not going to match me. But my sister is likely going to be able to use this, so I'll pass it on. Then it kind of pains me, but I am going to pass on this NARS blush palette. I did give it a go. This was mainly the blushes that I used in my last everyday makeup drawer, and I don't love it. And I found myself feeling like I had to use it, not that I wanted to use it, and I didn't enjoy it all that much. I grew to kind of like these 2 shades. This is more of like a really light, natural highlight. It doesn't have really any shimmer. It's more of like a satin, and I just don't go for that type of highlighter. And then this one, it's a little bit more difficult for me to work with, and it doesn't blend out very smoothly. So it just wasn't my favorite, so unfortunately I'm going to pass it on. This little NARS Ita brush too is going to go with it. I don't use I don't use this to apply any of those things. So maybe someone else can love it. Unfortunately, I did not. Alright guys, that completes the everyday makeup drawer video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you subscribe before you leave. If you've been watching me for a long time, thank you so, so much once again for taking time out of your day and watching one of my videos. I really appreciate it. If you did enjoy it, please just give it a thumbs up. That helps me out so much, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!